Nos da las armas es para defender nuestros ideales y para...
Guns, death, and drugs. Just a normal day with the world's toughest cops. Baltimore, USA, the murder capital of America. A tough town that needs even tougher cops. On the front line is Detective Donnie Moses. He spent the last 15 years combating the guns and dealers.
People start shooting. You know, instead of running away from the gunshots, we run to it. And most times, I would say, we're excited to run to the gunshots.
With nearly 200 violent crimes and 5 murders every week in Baltimore, officers never know what to expect.
It's supposed to be a guy inside the house tearing the house up, wrecking the house, and he has a knife with him.
A domestic disturbance. A man is threatening his parents with a knife. With over 40 fatal domestic shootings every year, Donnie Moses and partner David White are marching into a hostile situation.
Stay on my hip, on my hip.
The young man is in the kitchen and still arguing when things get really out of hand.
Get him. Bring him down, bring him down. Just bring him down to his face. Bring him down to his face, on his stomach. On your stomach. Stop resisting. On your stomach, on your stomach. No, no, no. Stop.
The cops can't calm him down, so they decide to use an alternative measure.
Back up, back up, back up.
Stun him, Crown. All right, you're gonna turn over.
Turn over, turn over.
Turn over.
Turn over.
All right, put your hands behind your back.
They use a taser to stun the suspect. It shoots 2 hooked wires into the man's flesh, sending a 50,000 volt charge through his body. It will take the suspect several minutes to recover. Although it looks like rough justice, using a taser has brought the problem under control and allows the officers to secure the young man safely.
All right, 35, we have the individual in custody. No officers injured.
The man apparently was giving his family members a problem. When we tried to gain control of him, tried to talk him out of his rage, it didn't appear to work. Ultimately, we had to tase him. Less than lethal use of force. Once we tased him, we handcuffed him, it's over.
The ambulance came and checked the individual out to make sure that he didn't have any life-threatening injuries. Then from there, right now, we're going to transport him to probably the local hospital. They have to take the prongs that were discharged from the taser. They have to take that out of his back and check his vitals. And then from there, he's going to be sent over to our centralized booking. That's where we process all prisoners. He's going to be charged with assault on police officers.
According to manufacturers, 170,000 suspects are tasered across the US every year. As a non-lethal response and an alternative to the gun, it's a no-brainer for the cops. But for some cops, a taser is just not enough. In Sao Paulo, Brazil, the biggest city in South America and home to 18 million people, here the gun is the weapon of choice. And there's only one team that can bring these armed criminals to justice. This is the Armed Response Unit, GARA, known as the group armed to repress robbery and assault. Agent Valdecir Vieira has been in the unit 7 years.
Já aconteceu situação de que eu fui que o perigo é iminente, de morrer ou matar alguém. Já fui em várias.
Most years, the Sao Paulo police seize almost 10,000 illegal firearms. 9 out of 10 murders here involve guns. And with 20 police officers killed every year in the city, the cops can't take any chances.
Sempre a arma preparada, sempre a arma na mão. Porque se eu deixar ela no coldre guardada, até eu tirar a arma, pode não dar tempo de uma reação instantânea, entendeu?
In Brazil's economic capital, 20% of the population live in slums or favelas. The average wage for a cop in Sao Paulo is $300 a week. For many like Vieira, they don't do it for the money.
É um sacerdócio. Você tem que fazer aquilo por amor. Então, qualquer salário que seja, poderia ser um absurdo. Se você não gostasse de fazer o trabalho policial, ele seria um péssimo policial, entendeu?
The Sao Paulo police process over 200,000 violent crimes every year, as well as more than 8,000 drug-related offences. The vast majority of crime happens after dark. Agent Vieira from the Sao Paulo police has been tipped off about the location of cocaine dealers.
E 2 permanecerão cuidando das viaturas, né, na parte externa da favela. Nós vamos fazer uma incursão dentro da favela. Essa favela é uma das mais perigosas que nós temos aqui em São Paulo. Provavelmente a gente encontra alguma resistência lá por parte de traficantes, tá? Então todo cuidado é pouco, muita cautela na hora de entrar nessa favela. O máximo de cuidado, tá?
The favelas are a haven for drug dealers and their lucrative trade. These are no-go areas for cops, but Vieira and his men still go in. With 2 other units, he is heading into one of the city's most notorious favelas.
Apaga tudo, apaga tudo, apaga tudo. Porque nós estamos chegando no local. O bairro crítico também, em questão de segurança também, um bairro crítico, bairro de periferia, tá? Então todo cuidado é pouco aqui nesse local.
They reach the edge of the favela.
Ali. Ah, já tá abordando, tá abordando. Para aí, não entra na frente, né? Larga!
As the first unit try to stop a group of men, some of them make a run for it into the alleyways.
Correu um. Lá pra dentro. Pra dentro da favela, lá.
Around the corner, they think they've spotted some suspects. In the darkness, Vieira calls a signal to make sure they're not police officers. With no reply, they move in.
Volta, maluco. Volta, tem mais alguém aí? Volta. Você aí, maluco. Vem. Passa na parede.
The men are rounded up along with other suspects and searched. No drugs are found, but the police check IDs to see if any of them have previous. Once again, it looks like the favelas have provided the real criminals with an escape route.
Aí nenhum deles está sendo procurado pela justiça também. E não encontramos entorpecente e nada. Quer dizer, eles estão limpos, foram liberados, está tudo bem. Tá?
Despite the disappointment of the dealers getting away, they've obeyed the #1 rule of policing: go home alive. But it's not always that way.
Bom, nesse mesmo local aqui, inclusive nessa mesma entrada que nós entramos agora, que nós fizemos incursão, um outro policial de um outro grupo do Garra, chamado Fabrício, ele veio a óbito aqui e foi baleado por traficantes aqui. Ele morreu aqui nessa favela, ser baleado aí, entendeu? Então por isso que a gente redobra a atenção, justamente para que não ocorra nenhum problema como aconteceu com esse colega nosso aí, tá? Só nos encoraja mais a combater o crime.
In 2012, the police in Sao Paulo started fighting back with a vengeance, clearing out the favelas. But the problems are far from over. And across the border, the police are also fighting back. Colombia, producers of 70% of the world's cocaine. And there is nowhere tougher to police drug crime than here. This is the front line on the war on drugs. The Colombian National Police anti-narcotics base, San Jose del Guevara. It's 180 miles from the capital Bogotá, deep in the jungles of southeastern Colombia. Each year, 700 tons of cocaine are produced here, with a street value of $45 billion. For the last 30 years, the police have waged war against influential, highly organized and dangerous drug cartels. Drug lord Pablo Escobar ran the Medellin cartel for over a decade, murdering and bribing his way to a $3 billion fortune. Today, the Norte del Valle cartel are in control, despite the recent capture of boss Diego Montoya, one of the FBI's most wanted men. No other country has seen more of its citizens die in the battle against cocaine, with over 450,000 homicides since 1990. The drug squad need to be armed with the best weapons and the toughest men to get the job done. Colonel Gustavo Chivarro leads an elite division of the drug squad. Although he's got 20 years service and 80 men under his command, Chivarro isn't afraid to get his hands dirty.
Es un trabajo de alto riesgo y nosotros los policías colombianos estamos conscientes de que es un alto riesgo, pero es lo que nos gusta.
Chivarro and his men take on the drugs trade at source, destroying drug crops and factories. To do this, they must fly deep into territory under the armed control of the drug cartels and anti-government guerrillas. They've paid a heavy price, over 17 officers killed and 29 wounded on recent eradication missions.
Es la operación Eclipse, la ubicación y destrucción y judicialización de 2 laboratorios para el procesamiento de clorhidrato de cocaína.
4 helicopters and 46 police officers will make a treacherous journey into the jungle. Their mission, to destroy a major drug lab and capture any hostiles in the area. They must be prepared to face armed resistance from the drug producers.
Las 2 operaciones que vamos a realizar son operaciones de un nivel alto. Aquí vamos a sincronizar relojes, por favor.
With the raid due to take place at dawn, Chivarro gets a precious night at home with his family.
Hola, Juan David. Regálame un abrazo. Un abrazo. Un abrazo.
¿Sí me extrañaste hoy? Hola, mi amor. ¿Cómo estás? Tienen esa idea de que corremos un alto riesgo y podemos... Le digo a la familia que el día que yo no vuelva y el día que yo fallezca en mi trabajo, se sientan orgullosos.
But with 200 cops killed every year in Colombia, he takes nothing for granted.
Todas las mañanas cuando me levanto le pido mucho a Dios que me ayude a llegar a viejo y que me dé la oportunidad de ser abuelo, que me dé también la oportunidad de ver a mi hijo grande.
Uy, give me the fire. Toma.
As dawn breaks, Colonel Chivarro kits up for today's raid on the suspected drugs lab.
Que Dios nos da las armas es para defender nuestros ideales y para... Es de calibre 5.56. Es un arma muy buena. Voy a llevar unos hombres a un sitio extremadamente peligroso. Yo lo único que quiero es transmitirle a mis hombres la confianza, que todo va a salir bien, aunque yo personalmente sé que no lo puedo garantizar al 100%.
30 minutes in the air, the unit enters lands under the armed control of narco-terrorists. These aircraft have been shot down in this area before. The GAU-17 miniguns aren't just for show. Each can spray the jungle with 50 rounds a second.
En este sector vemos que hay una gran cantidad de plantas de coca.
The Colombian jungle is dotted with 100,000 hectares of coca crops, often guarded with landmines and booby traps.
Los bombarderos a la vista. Ok, plataforma Coyote, elemento número 1 entrando al punto.
Estamos en el punto del laboratorio. Ya los comandos junglas encontraron el primer objetivo.
The Black Hawks circle the target, scanning the canopy for potential threats. The lead helicopter moves into position.
La aeronave, los pilotos están haciendo todo lo posible para poder aterrizar, ya que los árboles son demasiado altos, impiden que el aterrizaje sea positivo.
After circling for 5 minutes, Chavarro gives the go-ahead.
Ok, entrando en caliente, disparen.
They move in to surround the building.
¿Por aquí ya hay alguien? ¿Pero será que hay alguna trampa o qué?
The building appears empty, but the unit have to be on their guard against possible ambushes.
Ok, ¿qué está pasando? ¿Cómo está la situación?
It looks as though the criminals have fled at the noise of the approaching helicopters, but the police have found what they're looking for. A recently harvested coca crop, chemicals, and equipment for making cocaine.
Listo, ¿cuánto estimamos?
A lab this size could produce more than a ton of cocaine every month, with a street value of $71 million. With the possibility that the drug producers are still nearby, the cops are vulnerable to attacks from the surrounding jungle. They have to work quickly.
Vamos a colocar las cargas explosivas para hacer la destrucción. Están tomando fotografías y están haciendo el embalaje de la parte judicial para hacerlo lo más rápido posible. ¿Cuánto tiempo tenemos? 15 minutos máximo. Máximo 15 minutos, 10 minutos. Listo, vámonos, vámonos. 7 minutos, sí. Ok, saliendo. Listo, saliendo, saliendo.
With the explosive set, the men start to move out.
Saliendo, 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 saliendo. Esta es un área del enemigo, es un área en la que nosotros estamos prestos a un ataque. No nos podemos confiar porque puede que nos ataquen saliendo.
Before leaving, there's just one more thing they have to do. Sigh of relief. It's been a successful mission, and they're all going home in one piece.
¡Hola, cuerda! ¿Me vas a regalar un abrazo? Siempre las operaciones que nosotros realizamos de antinarcóticos son un éxito cuando no tenemos personal secuestrado, cuando no tenemos heridos en combate, cuando no tenemos fallecidos y cuando las aeronaves no tienen ninguna novedad.
And it's not just South America that's facing a huge war on drugs. Located in the Balkan Peninsula, in the southeast of Europe, lies Kosovo. After the Balkan War tore through the region at the end of the 1990s, the criminal underworld moved in. They abused the political instability, establishing Kosovo as a base for their lucrative trade. Today, its smuggling route from Afghanistan to the west means Kosovo now sees an estimated 40% of the world's heroin trafficked through its streets. But the Kosovo Police Service, the KPS, is fighting back. They've set up a specialist unit to combat the increasingly influential underworld. Major Hadji Griznicki is the Deputy Chief of the Department Against Organised Crime. He's on the front line in the fight against Kosovo's gangs.
Fighting organized crime is something special because we know that we are doing this job to serve our people, to have Kosovo without narcotics. This is high motivation.
Today, Hadji is masterminding a raid on a large crime gang who he suspects are about to engage in a huge heroin deal.
Në operative kom në shku dje, janë gjithçka është e aranxuar për pas që se ullën jem të.
In this remote village 20 miles from police headquarters, Hadji's team have got the gang's base surrounded. These are dangerous criminals, so when the call comes in, it's time to move fast. As they search the house, it's not long until they find one of the criminals.
Strzał! Strzał! Aż dywizję! Go ahead! Aż dywizję też! Dołem propa! Dołem propa! Faster!
The team let Hadji know they've got one of the suspects.
Bravo, bravo! Jo me prekzion jo, power forenzika. They was planning to exchange the drugs with the money and we just hit in this moment.
As well as finding one of the suspects, they've also seized a huge quantity of heroin. But it seems the raid is not over yet. One of the gang is hiding on the roof.
Nëse një televizje vën pali dhe e shkon poshtë. Oj, kontrol!
They get hold of him and pull him down from the roof. With all that firepower, he didn't stand a chance.
Shtene një dheu ma poshtë që të në ta morën hetos pak.
The gang members could be looking at up to 10 years. And although it's a success, the 20 kilos seized today is just a drop in the ocean. An estimated 5,000 kilos of heroin passes through the streets in Kosovo every month. And with 400,000 illegal guns on the streets, the cops face many dangers. Sometimes the biggest dangers are not organised crimes, especially in South Africa, a country with a bloody history. For 43 years, it was a nation divided by the rules of apartheid, where the black population was stripped of their citizenship and denied their basic human rights. With it came oppression and violence. Followed by resistance and finally freedom. when in 1991 the system was abolished. But the suffering has not ended for South Africa's new Rainbow Nation. On the east coast of South Africa is Durban, the country's third largest city and one of its most dangerous. Dina Govinda is one of the Durban Organised Crime Unit's toughest cops. With 50 murders a day and 100 police officers killed every year in South Africa, he has his work cut out for him.
My mum, she's 61 years old and she's extremely worried and stuff when I go to work. My wife, she's also concerned, but she's a police officer and she understands because I used to work with her before. And you know, she works with me, she understands the type of job that I do.
His everyday job includes gang crime, armed robbery, drugs and murder.
Any different type of crime is a challenge to me. Like serial killings, murders, drive-by shootings.
Being a typical day for Dina, it's not long before there is a report of a serious incident. An armed robbery is in progress in a downtown department store. Dina and Inspector Scuba Reddy head to the location.
Stop there, stop there.
They're looking for 4 suspects, 2 of whom are armed.
Stay in the car, stay in the car. Ready?
Dina heads into the store where the robbery took place.
Open, open. Good job. Hands back, hands back. Where's he? Where's he?
But the suspects have already fled to a different store.
Go inside, go in the car. In the car.
They race 2 blocks down a busy street to the shop where the gunman had been spotted.
Shane. Where? Where's he? Where? He's here inside. We can see him, he's on there. Go in.
One of the suspects is apprehended.
Pull him out. Pull him inside. Never take him out. Come out.
But another is still on the loose somewhere in the store.
He's up there. What's up? Upstairs, come. He's got through the window. Come up. Someone said drop, yeah. He jumped through the window. Where's the window in the back? How do you get back in the back? How do you get the back? JP, come. What's happening here is there's 2 suspects arrested so far. One of the firearm, the full-arm robbery. They ran initially into Ackermans and now they've gone into Woolworths. They jumped onto the ceiling and one guy's still at large.
Okay.
Yeah, he's armed, he's dangerous.
Are you going to go get him?
Yes, we're going to get him.
The cops cover all the exits of the store. With one armed robber still at large, Dina heads round the back where he thinks the gunman will be flushed out.
We're just trying to see exactly where they're going to come out from.
Dina spots something at one of the exits and quickly moves in.
just wait in the car, Alex. Alex, 1 second. Dangerous, dangerous.
It's too dangerous for the crew to get any closer. After a 20-minute chase, the armed robber was cornered.
The guy shot himself. Policeman injured, he fell from the second floor. The guy ran down and he went to the corner and he shot himself dead. So his gun found there. He realized there's too many policemen around and there was nowhere to go. And he didn't want to surrender, so he shot himself.
This kind of incident is nothing unusual. An armed robbery in a busy part of town, which ended up with one man dead. Here, it's hardly even news. This is El Salvador, the smallest country in Central America. 1 in 5 people carry a gun, making it one of the 5 most dangerous places to police in the world. The arms were left over from their infamous 12-year civil war that claimed the lives of 75,000 people. Now they're in the hands of gang members and anti-government revolutionaries who are waging a new battle on the streets. On the 5th of July 2006, a student protest over an increase in bus fares turned ugly, and the riot squad were called in. In what was to become the deadliest confrontation in the unit's history, 2 officers were killed and 16 were seriously injured. Jimmy Cisneros was part of the 3rd platoon deployed to restore order, and he was one of the officers who was hurt. On the morning of the riots, the UMO squad pressed forward, firing tear gas and rubber bullets, trying to disperse the crowd.
A los 25 metros de haber avanzado, pues nos empezaron a lanzar bombas molotov, piedras, bombas de humo. Luego que ya nos habíamos quedado sin ver nada, de repente empezamos a sentir que nos disparaban.
A lone gunman with an M16 opened fire on the advancing unit. Jimmy was at the front and was shot once in the knee and again in the arm.
El momento de los impactos de bala, pues uno se siente bien, se siente nervioso. Se siente uno que se le va la vida y uno solo piensa en la familia. Yo en ese momento pensé en mis hijos, en mi esposa, que tal vez nunca los iba a volver a ver porque uno no sabía la dureza de las lesiones que podía tener uno.
Two officers were killed instantly, one with a bullet to the head and one straight through the heart. Jimmy was between them.
Yo vi a los dos compañeros, al compañero Rubí, lo vi a mi izquierda, porque al momento que yo sentí el disparo en la rodilla, yo me fui al suelo y caí en el hombro de él. Él ya estaba en el suelo. Cuando yo lo vuelvo a ver, él ya estaba inmóvil, ya estaba con la mirada bien perdida. Pero yo no me podía mover y cuando vuelvo a ver a mi derecha estaba el compañero Navarrete también. Él sí, yo supuse que estaba muerto en el momento porque tenía un disparo en la cabeza. Pues sí, me siento mal al recordar eso porque pues desde ese día para acá ya mi vida cambió, pues, ya no es la misma. No sé, ya las cuestiones cotidianas que uno hacía, correr, jugar fútbol, jugar basquetbol, ya no las puedo hacer. Simplemente caminar. Ya cambió mi vida en un giro completo.
But these anti-government protests are not the only thing to fear in El Salvador. In this city, life is cheap. You can buy a hand grenade for $1, and gang conflict means the cops often find themselves patrolling areas where violence is rife. The two biggest gangs are at war, Mara Salvatrucha, or MS, and 18th Street. To help combat this gang warfare, a special unit was set up. The Interceptores. The leader of this 9-man team is Captain Humberto Flores Aragon.
El camiller particular 282 tiene algo pendiente.
Born and raised in the gang-ravaged colonias, El Salvador's ghettos, he knows these streets better than most.
Relevante hoy este día. Algo de acción.
Me gusta la acción.
A mí me gusta bastante la acción.
The Interceptores head into Soyapango, a gritty working-class area, and form a leftist guerrilla stronghold.
Bueno, lo de Soyapango es un municipio muy conflictivo, específicamente con las bandas. Hay unas bandas ahí de robacarros, las pandillas que están a la orden del día en la zona, tanto MS como 18. A cometer una serie de delitos, desde homicidios, extorsiones, robos, a mano armada y todo.
This area is at the center of a fierce turf war between the two gangs over control of the racketeering operation of local businesses. Every time Humberto goes on patrol in a dangerous area like this, his family is not far from his mind.
Pues mi familia al principio, pues ellos no querían que perteneciera a la corporación policial, porque tenían miedo que muchos, porque como al principio, quiera decir uno, en la corporación policial hemos tenido bastantes bajas a causa de la delincuencia. Entonces la familia de uno a veces se preocupa donde ve los noticieros ahí o los periódicos en primera plana. Entonces ellos me decían que no, pero al final pues yo tomé la opción, me gustó bastante y gracias a Dios aquí estamos.
Just as the units enter the area, their attention is drawn towards a group of people waving frantically from a nearby hillside.
Rápido, 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 rápido.
Ay, Dios mío, ¿cómo está?
They are first on the scene to a daylight double murder.
¿Dónde? Llevámonos nosotros. ¡Hey, venga uno!
Oíme, coordiname con 160, aquí en la 50 tenemos dos muertos que hace unos 5 o 10 minutos, sujetos desconocidos, los vinieron a dar muerte aquí a la zona.
2 factory workers have been gunned down while eating in a roadside cafe. Arrived minutes after, Umberto knows the gang members who committed the crime could still be nearby. Being the only unit on the scene, they can't leave until the crime scene investigators arrive. So Umberto tries to find out exactly what happened from the many witnesses.
Todavía, por lo menos el ciudadano que está a aquel lado, pues todavía tenía síntomas, pero al ratito falleció. Aquí está más claro que los pandilleros de la MS les han venido a dar muerte, porque aquí esta colonia es dominada por las pandillas de la MS. Ahí ya están fallecidos, sí, ya están fallecidos, pero allá están los dos. Ya estaban muertos cuando nosotros llegamos, pero los delincuentes supuestamente aquí se han metido por los pasajes.
As the crime scene investigators take over, Umberto coordinates his unit to go in search of the killers.
Oíme 911, al parecer los sujetos, uno es de camisa amarilla y camisa blanca. Estos han corrido aquí por los pasajes de la 22, cambio. Esta zona es colorada con las pandillas MS. Allá va uno de camisa amarilla. Dale, vamos a ver qué onda con eso.
¿Cuál es la ventaja?
Oiga, que levante la camisa.
Adelante. Vale.
Estamos ahí. Si llegamos más antes, los logramos agarrar.
Sí.
Pero lástima que ya estaban ahí palmados. Pues supuestamente el móvil creo que debe haber sido el robo, la muerte de ellos.
¿El robo?
Sí, el robo. Por aquí los vamos a...
Umberto continues to search deep inside the colonia, trying to find out any useful information about the murderers.
A la colonia Crediza. Supuestamente los hechores de ese doble homicidio han tomado un taxi.
¿Han tomado un taxi?
Han tomado un taxi y ya salieron de esta zona. Dos sujetos supuestamente llegaron y a quemarropa los agarraron.
For Umberto, not having caught the criminals is especially frustrating.
Lástima que si nosotros hubiéramos bajado un poquito antes, logramos agarrar a esos delincuentes, los que mataron a estos dos ciudadanos. Aquí en nuestro país la vida pues la tenemos prácticamente contada. Si uno anda un poco dormido, si no anda despierto, en segundos puede perder la vida uno, en segundos.
Having seen it all in a 16-year career, Umberto has little regard for gang members. For him, the criminals that have darkened the name of El Salvador deserve nothing.
En este caso, digamos, cuando es un delincuente demasiado, que ya no es ni querido ni por la ciudadanía, pues no se siente nada cuando se muere un ciudadano de eso. Cuando muere un delincuente es un ciudadano que no nos sirve de nada en nuestro país.
El problema entre los del CAN y unos señores que están ebrios.
La religión dice que no hay que matar. ¿Usted qué piensa?
Pero bueno, si la religión dice que no hay que matar, acuérdese que si es en defensa propia, en defensa de una tercera persona, en defensa del ciudadano que esté más cerca, pues yo creo que ahí podríamos tener perdón de parte de nuestro Señor Jesucristo.
Al día de independencia y quiero que reportan que hay problemas entre los del CAN.
Me imagino yo, no sé. Allá solo el que está allá arriba pues sabrá lo mejor si tendríamos perdón o no.